But looks like a grandmaster. Zon Robla. Or something along those lines. Anyway, we're getting e4. And the rat didn't work out the last game, but I don't think it was due to the opening, so I'll just repeat it. Like, I don't really think you can go bishop d3 and really expect to be doing great from the opening. Okay, h4. It's quite interesting. I guess I'll just stop him in his tracks. And I have a fairly nice outpost on g4, so I don't think I should complain. Bishop e3 and then knight c6. Yeah, I feel like I'm doing very well out of the opening here. I'll take on f3, and then I'll go e6. And I have a bit of an unpleasant threat here after e6. Doesn't actually really matter which one he recaptures with. I have an unpleasant threat, which is to go cd4. I don't think he really addressed that threat by his last move. Yeah, cd4, bishop b4 was the problem. But now there are a lot of weaknesses in the white position. And I don't really think you can play like this with impunity. I think even the way that I'm playing today, yeah, this play deserves punishment. Okay, so we decided to give up a pawn in order to limit the damage, which I guess is a reasonable decision. But still, I have a very, very sound extra pawn. I was hoping he wouldn't find that. Yeah, no, I don't have that much, to be fair. At least I can go rook c8, because bishop on h6 covers the square on c1. So I can't oppose the rook, but yeah, after a later d5, I don't have that much. Rook h3, rook d3 is a nice maneuver, or even like this. I think I'll go b5 and then a5. The bishop is sitting very pretty on b3, so I have to try and harass it. Okay, a4, this one I'm pretty happy to see. Now I'm getting... Probably there wasn't a good choice there, because d5, a4 was trapping the bishop for what I think is insufficient compensation. But also, what he played doesn't look that great. I have some tricks here, like bishop c1, intending rook d4. And then if rook a2, I can go rook a2, I can go bishop. I can go rook b4 and then bishop b3, so I don't actually get bishop b2 there. It's a bit disappointing. Okay, I'll go rook b4 immediately. And rook b8, just trying to harass this bishop a little bit more, I should say. Okay, yeah, bishop d1, then I think I'll just move over again. Yeah, he's defending pretty well here. Guess I'll try and bring the bishop into the game. Rook d8. At least I'm winning d4. I don't think this counterplay that he has is too dangerous. Now I'll take and I'll go king g7. And I use this, of course. But still I got bishop c3 next. I should win another pawn and then should should be the game. Don't want to exchange rooks, so I'll go rook b5, and if bishop c4, I got rook c5, and king f4, there's bishop e5. And with 2 extra pawns, this should be plain sailing. Yeah, he's defending well for the moment. I guess I'll go here, rook a3. Try and poke a little bit. Now, h4 should be falling, although I have to play a bit faster. Okay. Yeah, a little bit slow, but I guess after all, a comfortable enough game. He just played really, really poorly in the opening there. Don't know really what that was all about. Yes. Okay. Let's try and slow down. Yeah, with a 5-minute game. Nice little username there in Fisher Firuzia. The 3rd best and 136th best player of all time. Okay. Anyway, a little change up from the rat, and I'll go for one of my other blitz favorites, which is the Scandinavian with Queen d6. Now that the pawn, the bishop is on c4, the a6 looks pretty juicy. In that, I'll win a tempo by attacking the bishop later on, and that I shall do immediately. So I feel like in a lot of lines here, you would go a6, b5, even without getting a tempo. So this feels pretty comfortable for black. And as a matter of fact, with if I'm allowed to go c5 and develop normally, I will probably be a little bit better, with better central control and somewhat more active pieces. So I think knight e4 is very correct. Just trying to simplify the game a bit. So with queen c7, kind of declining the exchange of the bishops, which would have occurred after knight e4, bishop e4. And I'm thinking that my bishop on e7 is going to be better than his on d3, since it has a long diagonal to work on. I was not really worried there about a possible knight f6, knight takes f6, because I would go gf6, and I would have possibilities of going knight d3 later, and also rook g8, exploiting that open file. Now, however, it seems that he is sort of provoking me a little bit too much here to play actively. And I'll Yeah, I'll happily be provoked in this particular case. We do have an interesting line here. So if he goes bishop h4, which I believe is only a real move that protects f2 and doesn't make bishop takes f3 a winning threat, then I'll take on f3 maybe. And it was just a very interesting line there. Take on f3, queen f3, queen takes h2, king f1, queen takes h4, queen takes a8 check, king f6, queen b7 check, king f6, queen f3 check, and then king g5. And there are no more checks. Oh, there's queen f7 there. Probably it's no good. I was just thinking in that case, maybe if I could there take on f2 later on, have a couple of pawn the exchange, I could have a good position. The problem with g3 is that it doesn't prevent my main threat, which is to take on f2. And I'm attacking the queen, attacking the bishop on d3, which will fall with check once the queen moves. Discovered check, and my opponent resigns. Yeah, just a little bit careless there, allowing knight g4 and so on. After that, it meant that it was so very difficult. Okay, let's go for another 3-minute game. Mateo Lopez from Colombia. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, let's go for the London, and once he goes g6, I'll go for the old h4 attack, which is actually holding up pretty well, I think, in practice. Like, I think castling is actually considered a mistake here, because h5 is just very dangerous, followed by sacking the exchange after knight h5, which means that what he did here with c6 is more sensible, just making a waiting move, and now h5 really there's not that much point to it, seeing as black hasn't castled. So we'll go for this instead, which is pretty standard. Bishop f5. Yeah, I guess that's reasonable. I'll go knight e5. Then I'll go f3, hinting at a later g4, or f4. Sorry, g4, e4. Yeah, queen b6 is very reasonable. I think I'm sacking a pawn here, though. If queen b2, rook b1, queen c2, bishop c2, rook b7, I do have a pretty active rook on the 7th, and his extra pawn is really weak. Whenever he wants to castle kingside, he probably has to sack a pawn. So it seemed a very reasonable sack for me. Bishop h6, I guess, is quite reasonable, intending a later knight d7. Guess I'll just castle for now. Seems that it's pretty far away from creating any sort of dangerous threats against my king. So, oh, wait a sec. Did I miss g4 here? I didn't actually miss g4 because there was hg, fg, bishop e4, and then attacking the rook. And if I move the rook, he would have time to prevent. Yeah, that was a bit sloppy not to consider it at all. Yeah, rook g8 for preparing knight d7. Very, very sensible. I think I'll go knight a4 now, kicking the queen away. Queen d8 was the only available square. Knight c5 seems reasonable. And I'm thinking if he goes b6, which is the most natural move, I'll drop the knight. Yeah, knight a6, rook c8 doesn't seem to be much. I'll drop the knight back to d3 and claim that the knight is better placed on d3 than it was on c3, which I think almost certainly it is. It has a lot more prospects here of jumping to, let's say, e5 or maybe even b4. Certainly have ideas of going g4 now. As a matter of fact, I think that's what I'll do. Yeah, it seems reasonable. So takes. I give up the e4 square for the bishop, but I do open the f file. I have the option of going g5 later on, or even to go knight f2 at some point and harass the bishop. Knight f8 seems a bit too passive. Don't really know what's the point here. Knight f2 now, I have two ideas. First one is the most obvious, which is to take on e4. The other one, I think, is even stronger, which is to go bishop a6. And actually, this means that I'm trapping the rook. Just for show, I'm not going to take the rook, since I have so many positional trumps here, and the bishop is so strong that it seemed unnecessary. Bishop e6 now, f e6, queen d6 is a queen mate. Okay, interesting strategic fight there, yeah, when it all sort of flared up, then it was clear that I had the upper hand also with this clock ticking down. But certainly interesting. Okay. Yeah. So now we have none less than Man, Beer, Pig, all the way from Australia. Love the profile picture though. That doesn't indeed look like a man or pig. Maybe those exist in Australia. Who knows? Wouldn't rule it out. What's the time in Australia now? It must be pretty late. Probably like 1 in the morning. Yeah, I think it must be something like that. But regardless of whether you're a man, bear, or a pig, or all of the above, you gotta show up. That's the first order of the day. You gotta show up for the game. Maybe man, bear, pig just wanted the attention without having to play the game. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. What comes after 6? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sorry, man, bear, pig, you're out. Wow. We need VAR here. Was man, bear, pig in time? Okay, I'm not going to waste any more time, and I'm just going to play the game. You got lucky, sir. And we're getting a rat. He's just spent all this time preparing for the rat. That is so nasty if that's the case. keep me waiting and then just preparing for the rat. No, I don't think so. I don't think he's prepared because this is not a great line. I mean, white is doing okay, but there are worse lines for sure. Basically here now I have two threats. One which is to go rook g2, and the other one which is to go knight c6 and attack d4. As well as his queen. And the queen e4 is a reasonable way to deal with both. This is not like scary stuff for black at all. There we go, knight c6 anyway. Mucking it up a bit. If d5, I think I'm going f5. Just absolute caveman style. Hiding my assets in the caveman island. Rook g4 now. Generally, it's a good strategy in Blitz, this one. Just attack stuff on every move. And especially when your opponent has brought his queen out at an early stage. That is a very valuable piece, which means that you can win very valuable time by attacking said very valuable piece. And now, after bishop, I would have had a double attack, which means that queen f2 is a lot better. Yeah, it's actually not so obvious what I do here. Queen d5 is tempting, but is it any good? Bishop d4, rook g2. It's queen e3, but then I can at the very least take on c2 with some murky compensation. If bishop d4, oh, there's knight c3 immediately as well. Yeah, I guess that stuff doesn't work. So what should I do then? I guess I'll just go bishop g7. Developing stuff. Knight c3, that seems to be clearly the best move. What to do now? It's definitely posing some questions now. c5, castles, queen a5, maybe? Does look a bit loose, but I guess I'll go for it. I didn't see a lot of promising alternatives, to be fair. Because if he does have time to go knight e2 with impunity, then I think he's just doing fine. So now after knight e2, I'm going to take it. And regardless of how he captures, a2 is going to be hanging, and his king is going to be fairly exposed. Maybe knight f3 is an option though. Knight takes f3, gf3. I go rook g6, still threatening bishop takes c3. I'm probably not doing great here. It's really, really murky. So I'm not majorly worried, but I don't think I'm doing fantastic. Yeah, he's playing well. This particular creature. Rook d3, I think, can be met by b6, possibly, with the idea of bishop a6 next, which seems very hard to meet. Also, b6, of course, protects c5, which is not an insignificant detail. Bishop c5 now is probably critical. Then I'll take on c3, and then probably on a2. Don't know if I should take on a2 or c3. And yeah, in lack of anything better, I'll take it from there. I think I'll take on c3 actually. Seems that the queen is covering a few more squares from there. Bishop e6. Developing and protecting against mate in 2. What more can you ask of a single move? Bishop d4 seems quite plausible, then queen a3 check. Bishop b2, queen takes a2. And for the moment, I seem to be doing fine there. My position is shaky for sure, but I don't think he has anything too direct. It's going to be interesting to see. Note also that the queen protects e6 from a2, which I feel. I have to say my opponent is playing an excellent game. Certainly, the outcome from here is, yeah, it's not even close to being clear. So rook c8, and now I'm just hoping that after queen h8, rook g8, I'm gonna have rook c2 later on. Oh, he just goes back? That's surprising. Now rook c2 I guess doesn't work, because b2 is protected, so rook g2 later on doesn't have a lot of sting. Guess I'll try to exchange queens then. Gotta move, sir. Okay, yeah. Bishop d5. Trying to retain that extra pawn. I'll try and be cheeky and retain this one. Bishop f6 was probably a good move. I would have gone king f7 there. Now I think I'm in control. Consolidating a pawn up, and obviously he's losing on time as well. Okay, sir. Very good game, and hopefully that was well worth staying up for. Yeah. Sorry, what was that? Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll keep going till half, and then I'll go. Okay. Yeah, so just a few more games here. I thought I saw an interesting one. Mr. Ariantari, show me what you got. He lost a match here the other day to Johan Sebastian Christiansen. He's playing the Tarish. Wow. Didn't expect that. Didn't expect that at all. So I'm just gonna play very, very solid. Bore him to death. There are actually a lot of very interesting sharp lines in this opening. Not this one though. This one generally leads to boring positions that are very slightly better for white. And it's generally a good choice if you want to make your life, sorry, your opponent's life miserable. Okay, so what's the story here? Okay, let's take an f6 now. Yeah, I think I should take an f6. There was also bishop a4 there. Maybe bishop a4 was a lot better, actually. Yeah, I think bishop a4 was better. Huh, that was a shame. Yeah, knight a4, and then bishop moves. I can take on d4. There was knight bishop b6 though. Then knight b6, queen b6, bishop f6, gf6. Maybe that's what he wanted, and it's not completely clear, but nevertheless, it was possibly better. I think here still bishop b6 is going to be played. Maybe I don't have that much. Maybe I actually don't have that much at all. Bishop b6, queen b6. Knight d4, rook a d8. And I got nothing. I think the weakness of his king side is not significant there. Okay, I'll go e4 instead then. Knight e5. Okay, let's try and play for this positional idea of trying to claim that my knight could one day be stronger than his bishop. Seems a bit far-fetched, to be honest. Even as the author of the idea, it seems far-fetched. It's usually not a good sign. Okay, I'll take, and then I'll start the whole rerouting operation. Okay, so far so good. If I can establish the knight on d3 or c4, I should be doing fine. Okay, we'll go g3 just to be safe. Yeah, rook h6 doesn't seem to do all that much. Oh, f5. That is brave. Don't know if it's any good. I think with the superior minor piece, the possible opening here of the king side is quite favorable to me. Okay, we'll go queen g2. Goes away, and then try and double rooks. Okay, this is going to be a bit of a scramble. Very interesting. Okay, well, no more time for talking. We gotta start working here. Giving up this one would check, but I do think that his king is the one that's going to be weaker here, potentially. Hopefully, at least. If he takes on c8 twice, I'll take on h2. So I'm not worried about that. Okay, now I think I'll take. Do I have anything good here? Knight g4, there's d2, which looks a bit scary. Okay, I don't have time. I don't have time at all. Oh, I'm trapping his rook. That was fortunate. Didn't actually see that. Okay, then I'm winning. Only question is if I can do it in time. Yes, pawn is walking. We'll take this one, e7, take, rook e3, and we have time. No, I was going king c3 first. What is this? Okay. What? What? How did I lose on time? I was pre-moving. What? How did that happen? I thought I had plenty of time there. Huh. Guess my internet is not ideal. Okay, never mind. I think we'll have time for one more 3-minute game, and then I have to get going. Okay, let's try and make it a good one. Okay, I think this is someone I've never played before. A lot of, yeah, whatever. Apparently somebody from Spain. Okay. Last game here. Try not to lose on time. Try and be a bit faster. Gotta be here though. Gotta be here, monsieur, as they say in Spanish. Nobody here? Absolutely nobody. Okay. Sorry. Okay, how about this one? Angel Killer GMs from Norway? Really? Wow. If this person is really from Norway, I should know who they are. Anyway, last game of the day. What is knight c3? Okay, I'll go c5 then. I feel like the rat wouldn't have worked very well there. Oh, it's a Grand Prix attack. No, it's not a Grand Prix attack. It's close to Sicilian of some sort. Regardless of what it is, his positions are usually quite fine for black. Going for a flexible setup here with bishop b7, and one big idea here is that g4 is usually met by f5. Staking serious claim in the center and you're nipping white's ideas in the bud. Here also d5 is a serious idea, so I do believe that white should normally go bishop f2 or bishop to g1 here. Now I think d5 is pretty good. You usually want to meet this with e5 close up the center. When you cannot do that, then this means that I'm going to be able to go d4, and he couldn't actually answer d4 with d4 after the bishop moves, because the queen would be hanging, and this means that he would have been in serious trouble there. Even here, I think positionally, I'm already quite a bit better. Yeah, and this doesn't actually help with bishop h2. I think now knight d1 is probably forced, since here I'm just getting a massive square on e3. Yeah, once the rook moves, I'm going to go f5 now. Even accidentally here trapped his own knight. If knight g5, there's h6, and I really love my position here. It's just a picture of complete harmony. You might want to see a rook on the e file, but apart from that, I'm really just perfectly mobilized. And in that sense, it's not a surprise that the tactics work out as well, and that I'm already completely winning here. So I'm just going h6. Apart from losing a piece here, or yeah, rather a knight, there are also serious positional problems here for my opponent. I'll take on g2 now. Knight before coming next, either with check or just attacking the rook, and queen d5. And there's a lot of trouble there brewing on the long diagonal. King f2 was probably the best choice that he had there, but it wouldn't have helped. Now it's, I think, a forced mate. Yeah, it's a forced mate. King e1, queen h1, queen h2, king f1, queen h1, king f2, queen g2, queen e1, and then queen g1 is mate. Okay, people, I think I'm gonna quit with this decent game. It's been a good ride, and I hope to see many of you for the tournament starting Sunday. So till then, take care.